This is Star Talk Sports Edition, and for this installment, we're going to revisit the materials world. Today, hacks and gizmos, and there's one person who we befriended down in Georgia, who's our like arm's reach expert on this, and he's back. Well, let me introduce him in a minute, but let me get my co-host done here. I got Gary O'Reilly. Gary,
hey, Neil.
good to always have you here.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
All right, everyone should know you by now, but a former soccer pro guy over in the UK, turned announcer, and then we got you over here stateside. So I'm delighted by that. It gives authenticity to this sports edition identity. And Chuck Nice. Chuck.
Hey, what's happening, Neil?
I do, dude. Never did any sports ever.
No, but I once kicked something.
Okay. And you've joked about sports. So there you go. So just consider what role innovation, which leads to inventions, and how they have influenced everything we do in this world, especially sports. And sometimes innovations come from just out of people's heads, out of the ether. Sometimes they're inspired by something we see in nature. Nature has had a long run trying to make stuff work. And you look around, you say, hey, that's a good idea. Let me try some of that.
Right.
And so our guest this is the second or third time on Star Talk, Dr. Jud Ready. Jud, welcome back to Star Talk.
Thank you, Neil. Great to be back. I'm really making a play to be part of your Star Talk All-Stars here. So I don't know what the minimum number is to get there.
There is a minimum number. That's right. Yeah, above if you above a certain number of appearance, you have a punch card that
it's got to be double digits, I'm sure.
You get a free
formal nomination
something.
process. Yeah.
And also in our third segment, we're going to have Jud answer some of your cosmic queries that you sent us from the Patreoniverse.
Bring them on.
Let's
see what we got.
That word. I like that. So you're down at Georgia Tech, and are you the founder or just simply the head of the Institute for Materials?
Actually, a deputy. I was been around since the founding of the Institute for Materials. We're on our second director now, Professor Eric Vogel, a good friend of mine as well. So we've been doing materials as the Institute for Materials now for close to a decade, but materials research at Georgia Tech, it's been going on since it was founded in 1800s. When it was
1800. You're not that old. Okay. So,
no.
So let me just, I got it. I think I did this in the last show, but I have to do it again. Material science is one of the most important yet uncelebrated branches of physics and engineering that there is. You guys come up with stuff and then it just works its way into our environment, and then we're there and we're using it, we're enjoying it, and somebody came up with the idea. Somebody thought it up, and they're hardly ever celebrated or heralded. So how come you all are just so behind the scenes on this? What's going on?
You guys are the Obamacare of science.
we are totally everywhere. I mean, if you look through history, you got the Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age. All of these are dictated by the key material that was militarily useful, and shortly after that, it became sociologically useful for us to do things. Now, we're less concerned, hopefully, about fighting wars with each other, that many of the materials are now rapidly progressing into today's society, whether it's the silicon chips in our computers that allow us to do these things, titanium in bicycles. I mean, there's a variety of different materials that were developed originally for defense applications that are now able to be used by men, women, and children across the world.
So would you say that would you say that because this is considered the age of information, that we're truly the silicon age?
Yeah, I would. Definitely the semiconductor age. It's everything around.
We're talking about natural materials now: Bronze Age, Stone Age, this age, that age. So following Chuck here,
bronze is not natural. Bronze is not.
Oh, true.
Doesn't accrue naturally.
That's copper and zinc.
Fundamental elements.
Copper and zinc. Damn.
Wow.
Busted on that one. Okay.
I'm going to bust you again. I'm sorry. It's actually copper and tin is bronze, and copper and zinc is brass. The Z and the S are switched. That's how material scientists keep you on your toes to not let you remember those things
I did
easily.
a double. Okay, I should have shut up right now.
Sorry, you can cut that.
But
You can
it's
trim
okay.
that.
It's
You
all
can
right.
edit it
That's
out.
good.
I don't mind looking bad. I
And
don't
guess
mind
what?
looking
But the
bad.
brass age is still going. That's in New Orleans. That's New Orleans.
Yeah.
The brass age is still happening.
Fine jazz, definitely. That's the next course I want to create here at Georgia Tech is material science and engineering of music. Cover woodwinds and brass and all sorts of stuff. But let's talk about sports today.
Yeah, sports. Yeah, thank you. So right now, you couldn't get back to your office. Where are you reporting from now?
Yeah, so lecture just ended 10 minutes ago. And so we're today for material science and engineering of sports, we were doing basketball. So we were here at Zelnak Practice Center, McCamish. Our basketball pavilion is literally through this door right here. And so we were covering basketball. So talking about shoes. These are gigantic shoes.
They are.
And uniforms, the floor itself. We're also going to introduce a study on rim rebound elasticity, the measure of which it's coefficient of restitution, basically for the rim. How much
I want a
energy is
dead rim
returned.
so that my bounce doesn't bounce out. It kind of absorbs the energy and falls in.
Right.
Yeah, it's regulated by the NCAA. Needs to be between 0.35 and 0.5, which is a huge range, frankly. And as long as your school falls in there, it's fine. Even the ones on either end of the court don't have to be the same. They only have to be within 15% of each other.
That's tricky when you're varying the end.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait,
About
so
suspicions.
Well, I got one for you, Judd. What the rim you really want is a black hole.
Anything that
Anything
crosses
near it
the
goes
event's horizon is
Anything get close to it.
Right.
I need
Can
a
you
black
imagine
hole
how
like
many
that
balls
big.
you'd lose a game?
Yeah, how many trick shots? Well, that's like baseball. They lose 20 balls a game. No, so you teach class on location at these places.
Yeah, Georgia Tech's really unique in that our athletic associations embraced innovation. And when I was on the board of trustees, I proposed this course, and they said, "Great, the coaches will work with you," without asking the coaches first. And then I asked the coaches.
That's how you do that.
And
That's
they
how you
agreed
do
it.
that.
Yeah, and they agreed it. And so we cover all of them. We on Monday we did track and field. We've done baseball. We've done softball. We'll do volleyball later on. We'll do swimming and diving, which was one of our
Such a
episodes
great way to
before.
learn, Judd, to see the thing that you've kind of seen on a screen come to life. Yeah.
It's a clandestine way of teaching material science to non-material science major. I've got a lot of biomedical engineers, some management majors, other people that have never heard of a dislocation or a body-centered cubic or tetragonal structure or anything like that. And I can show them, 3D printed putter heads and how we make.
what's a
make
butter head? What's a butter head?
Putter.
Oh,
Putter.
a putter head. Okay.
Thinking
Sorry.
about food again.
No,
Chuck.
I heard Butterhead too, Chuck.
I did.
That wasn't just
Sorry.
you.
Both thinking about food.
And then you held
Sometimes
up
that's
what looked
the
like a metal piece of bread. So I was like, okay, maybe I don't know about
Wait,
this.
before we get to the putter,
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by this origin story. One of your students took your class, right? And it came to you with the idea of a concept that you use the LZRD. I would pronounce it
Lizard.
lizard. Yeah,
Lizard,
a lizard
right.
sleeve. And that person is now CEO of their own company, and you're
Yeah.
the chief technology officer. So your student is now your boss. Okay, first, what the hell is a lizard sleeve? And secondly, I think it's great. You now report to your students. That's the ultimate
so
revenge. Depending on what grade the student got, right?
It
You gotta know that.
Mike got an A and he's graduated now, so he's no longer my student. But yeah, so he was a wide receiver in high school, and he came up with this idea of
Wide receiver
compressions.
in American football. Yeah.
American football, yes, sorry, as opposed to Gary's football. And so you'll see a compression
Oh
sleeve
wow,
like
I see
this.
all these guys all the time wearing.
Right.
So just for the listeners, Judd
But-
has put on what looks like a compression sleeve.
But
Okay.
you'll see that there's a difference. All the compression sleeves out there right now are the same all the way around. It's the same material, so it tends to be slippery, which is really bad for a football player. You don't
Without
want
a doubt.
the slipperiness. Better to have died a small child than fumble the football. Like that's what Coach Heisman said.
Can you tell him that? Can you tell he's down in Georgia right now?
Better to have died
as a
than to
small
have fumbled.
child.
Coach Heisman was coach at Georgia Tech, and that's where he said that. And it's totally true.
Oh my gosh.
We'd rather
this is
see you. We'd rather see you drop a baby than drop the football.
Wait. Wait. So these compression sleeves, we've seen many athletes use them, and they usually they go over their limbs and go across a joint, typically.